I was just reminiscing on a couple years ago. Actually, it was Peyton Manning's last year in the league, and it was the Denver Broncos when he was quarterbacking for the Denver Broncos, and they were going up against the Carolina Panthers when Cam Newton was the quarterback. And before the game started, everybody looked at Cam Newton, and it looked like somebody had just shot his best pig. And I'm like, what's wrong with this energy that he got going on? I don't know what's going on with this energy that Cam got going on, right? And it was a lot of controversial things that was going on in that game because that year, uh, they were good. Cam Newton and them were good, but Denver actually was on. They were actually playing on the backs of their defense because Peyton Manning, his arm wasn't there anymore. I think that's from the surgery, the neck surgeries, and all that. He didn't have the kind of arm strength, which kind of inflicted his accuracy and his arm strength and his ability to deliver the ball. So that whole year, they had been leaning on Von Miller and them boys, to go ahead and put pressure on the quarterback, and they was running the rock. And during that game, it was a point in time when the ball came out. And there it is, there the ball right there at Cam Newton's feet, and Cam just looked at the ball. He didn't jump on it. He didn't do any of that. Their kicker actually missed the kick, and Denver's offense really didn't score. And Carolina's defense was actually playing a very solid game, but the kicker missed the kick, and he never missed a kick, and that game went down in history as the Denver Broncos beating the Carolina Panthers. And they were prime targets for Carolina actually win that game. And there was a lot of conspiracy theories surrounding that game and whether football was fixed. And, it kind of got me looking at things like, man, is football fixed? And that was also, was that before? I think that was the year, either the year before or the year after, when Seattle had their debacle when they got at the goal line with Marshawn Lynch and threw the ball. And lo and behold, got an interception, and people were really like, man, is football fixed? I say all that to say this. It was a very strange fight last night when Canelo took on Caleb Plant for the 168-pound Undisputed for all the marbles.
I do what I do. He knows what I'm about to tell him right now. It's Mr. Keep running your mouth. That's what I
do. I just feel like I'm the champ, and at the end of the day, I'm just a fighting motherfucker. It doesn't matter. Inside, outside, I can just fight. So I just feel like if it gets down to the wire, and we gotta lock it up, I'm out on top.
I actually see how I'm looking. I stay solid. I'm always solid. I stay fucked solid on the ring. You know what I'm saying? To the fans and all that.
Great job outside the ring. I'm a fighter. Like I said before, there ain't no safety on the clock, so
I'll take them how they come and make them look ordinary.
This is Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Box. And yes, I came out. I'm doing my video because I can admit I was wrong. I was calling for an upset. The table was set. The style lends itself to where Caleb could actually beat Canelo. And that didn't happen. And I remember last night, when every time they showed Caleb, he looked concerned. I saw some of that same, can I say Cam Newton-ish energy before that Super Bowl. I seen the same energy. He was laid back. He was looking like, like he was concerned. Like somebody told him, "You're not winning." And I did a whole video earlier this week about the post about that press conference that they had where they awarded Eddie Reynoso the Trainer of the Year award, and they had went over the undercard, and I'm like, man, why do they keep emphasizing the first Mexican You know, I'm like, why do they keep doing that? Like, wouldn't this be the first super middleweight champion? And Showtime was getting it right when they said male, but I kept saying, why is this? Because it was looking like everything from the undercard. Darrell is a black gentleman, and Caleb Plant, white gentleman, and you had Elvis Rodriguez, who I think he was Puerto Rican. I think. Dominican or Puerto Rican, one of them. But not classified as Mexican, right? But it was pretty much all Mexican undercard. The arena was all Mexican. Leading up to, you know, the events, the ring walk and everything, I saw that Caleb Plant had Conway coming out, and the sound system was all jacked up. The music didn't sound right. It was offbeat. It didn't have it just didn't sound right. And then Canelo walked out with his guy that was going to do his ring work. Stellar vocals, stellar instrumentals, like clear-cut sound. You can understand everything that he was saying. So I'm like, man, the national anthem lady fucked up the national anthem.
I'll take them how they come and make them look ordinary.
You know, it was just a lot of little things, right? And so I got going into that fight, I'm like, okay. I had called for the upset. When I started looking at that fight, I said, man, Caleb's not fighting like his usual self. And I normally, you know, I know you guys, y'all, you know, most of y'all are casuals anyway. You don't really care about the numbers, you know, but according to CompuBox, those are the numbers. Look at those numbers as far as Caleb Plant and his power punching. Now, on average, Caleb Plant normally lands 40%. Canelo was in like the mid to high 40% in his power shots that's landed. But when I looked at that fight, it was plenty of opportunity where Caleb Plant would have stepped the gas. It almost looked like he was out there playing pity pat. Now, he wasn't known to have the best power. But that's not what I'm saying. Power shots landing, and if you possess the power to do any damage, is two different things. But it looked like he was pawing and scared, and he was standing in the mirror. And then I look at that part when he was doing the headbutt. It was like Caleb was looking at Ginger as if to say, are you really hurt? Because if you're not really hurt, I'm not really hurt. It was just weird. It was just very, very weird. And then when he got caught, and he was down there by the rope, the pausing when you was up, it's either you knocked out, or you standing up, or that whole little pause, and then the standing up and then walking straight out. I'm like, it was just, seemed a little dramatic to me. And also, that the other time when he caught him and he was down there by the ropes, and all you saw was Caleb just go like this and just sit there and wait. That's not him. He's fleet of foot. He will move. He will pivot out of there. There was times where he was just standing there, and I seen him he tried to make one adjustment, in which he was basically trying to be a counterpunch, and he stood right there in front of him. I guess he was trying to pull some Mayweather shit. He stood right there in front of him, and he was just waiting to where as soon as Canelo threw his punch, he would, and then try to go right back with the jab real quick. And he was catching him, but he didn't throw anything with any conviction. And so I'm like, did he take a dive? I don't know. At the end of the day, that's not the Caleb Plant that was supposed to show up. I don't know about the way they were calling that fight. I don't know what fight the announcers were ringside were calling the fight. I don't know what fight they were watching, but they had Canelo up. I'm like, I don't know what fight they were watching. I don't know what shots they were counting. I don't know, man. I don't know about any of that stuff. I just know that the real Caleb Plant didn't stand up last night. And I know it's not easy. It's like, oh, man, you're dealing with Canelo. I know all of it before. Calm down, man. Don't flood my video with all this racial stuff. Don't flood all this with you just a hater. I'm just a pure boxing fan. Canelo is an easy guy to like. And he is an easy guy for me to like as well because he's a pressure guy. You know what I'm saying? He's an effective body puncher. That's you look at most of the people that I like, even though I have a bias towards southpaws pretty much because I'm a southpaw. But, like, I like the pressure of body puncher, you know what I'm saying? I like the one that's going to take it to it, like, effective, you know, and break I like the fighters that break other fighters down and then get them out of there. So he has a style that lends itself to like. So it's no hate. So I'm saluting him for actually his victory. But for all you who thought I was going to get on here and put some knee pads and lip gloss on and say, oh, Canelo, like, y'all, no, my cheeks don't get wet for Canelo, okay? I salute him for his victory. My hat goes off to him for being the first undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. And that's where it stops. Body work.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
My word, and I do what I do. He knows what I'm about to tell him right now. It's Mr. Keep running your mouth. That's what I do.
I just feel like I'm the champ, and at the end of the day, I'm just fighting motherfucker. It doesn't matter. Inside, outside, I can just fight. So I just feel like if it get down to the wire, we gotta lock it up. I'm out on top.
Hey, look, as you can see how I'm looking, I stay solid. I'm always solid. I stay fucked solid up, man. You know what I'm saying? To the fans and all
You
that.
guys jump outside the ring. I'm a fighter. Like I said before, ain't no safety on the clock, so